everyone, Kelly here from Kellie Chasse Fine Art. And last week, if you saw my video, we did the sketch for the Lupine scene. And this week we're going to show you how I did the entire painting. And I do speed it up a little bit for you because it takes me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to get the complete painting done. So a lot of the stuff that you'll see here today is sped up ×2 and sometimes ×4 in some of the areas here. But we're going to be doing alcohol ink and Bombay inks on top of each other for this. And at the very end I opted to use a little bit of white gouache in the sky because my sky didn't get quite as light as I wanted it to. So I hope you guys like it. If you do enjoy this, please make sure to click that like button and share it. When you share and when you like and when you comment on here, it really helps me grow my channel. I'm trying to get to 10,000 on here for subscribers because there's some other little things and other little functions that I can do for you guys that I can't do now. The more that you share, it gives me more opportunities to be able to create more of these videos for you guys. I do have full online classes. You can find them over there at my website at kellylynart.com, where I have over 2,500 students in 85 different countries and over 24 online classes that have lifetime access. So head over there and check those out. I'm looking in the wrong spot. Over there. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I have new videos every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you click that subscribe button and click the little bell and you'll never miss one. So hey guys, let's get started here. Hopefully you've done the sketch from last week. If you haven't, I'll put a link for you and you can quickly get the sketch and the masking glue that I used here. But I want to let you guys know I'm so excited. I am buying a new lake house this week. So I am super pumped. Thank goodness I got this video done when I did because we're going to be painting walls next week. So I'm going to try to get a video up for you, but I honestly cannot promise it because I think I'm going to be painted out with painting walls. So anyway, this week we're doing the Lupines alcohol ink and Bombay inks. And I have just added a little bit of that pool blue on the top here for you. Now, as I mentioned before, I've sped this up because this painting took me a lot longer than I initially expected. I probably could have done an online course for you guys on this and showed you all of it. And if you guys think you might be interested in something similar to this with the alcohol inks, I do have the watercolor. There's 2 different full online classes where I take you through everything step by step for lupines. There's one with a birch tree, and there's also another one with a lake and lupines. But those were with watercolor. This is with alcohol ink and Bombay ink mixed media, so a little bit different. So anyway, I had to speed this up to get it in here. And if you're interested in it, let me know, and I can always make another course, full course, and take you through all the steps that I do here and in real time. So let me know, comment below if that's something that might be interested to you, or you might be interested in. There, that's what I'm trying to say. I get so tongue-tied now. I don't know what it is. So I am using Pinata Jacquard inks. I think I said that right this time. Did I say it right this time? Pinata? Pinata is a thing you hit, right? I'm not really sure how they say this, but I think it's pinata or pinata. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I have the white here. Now you can also use Snowcap by Ranger if you wanted to. And as you can see, my pool blue is still wet here, so I'm just mixing those colors in. I'm trying to get a lighter shade of blue, but it really is not getting quite as light as I want. So my advice would be maybe try something a little bit lighter shade, maybe with the Ranger inks, and like a cloudy blue or something, or the sailboat blue is what I use, or pool blue is real bright. Both of those are real bright, so something a little bit lighter. So now you can see here I have actually switched to the Bombay inks, and here's the difference between these two, you guys. One's water based and one is alcohol based. So alcohol and water do not mix, as you well know. So these really work great together. The only thing that I can say is that the alcohol inks dry very fast and your Bombay inks take a lot longer to dry. Like a lot longer to dry. Very similar to, a watercolor. You can layer, and as I'm doing here, I've got a little bit of the burnt umber here that I'm adding to that teal green that I used. And I will give a list. Actually, all of these little these colors come in that kit that I showed at the beginning. So if you're interested in checking this out and you're not familiar with Bombay inks, they are in my Amazon affiliate shop, and I do have the link up above under purchase product here, as well as I'll put a link down below for you as well if you've never tried these. These are awesome. The colors are great. They are quite transparent, as you can see, so the alcohol inks really show underneath it quite well. So now I'm going to switch here and fill this in with another shade of blue here, and I've added a little bit of alcohol to this. I've lightened it up just a little bit more. This one is Baja Blue. The first one I used was, actually that was Sapphire Blue by Jacquard. So two different shades, but again, you know, you can use any shade of blue that you want. It doesn't have to be these particular colors. This is actually quite dark. My husband said to me, this is a really dark one, because he saw the picture of the original on there. Oh, and I should probably put that up here for you. I'll add that up here at the top for you guys so you can see the original picture that I'm using here. So I'm thinning this out a little bit, just getting a little bit lighter. That Bombay ink in the mountainous area there is still wet, but as you can see, it's no problem because I'm just taking the alcohol and moving it right over on top of it. So let's go ahead and try a little bit of this is Rainforest Green by Jacquard. I'm going to say Jacquard since I don't know how to pronounce pinata or panada. I can't even remember because you guys corrected me last time I did this. And now I've forgotten again without actually going back to my own video and looking it up. How silly is that? Well, that's me for you. So I'm filling in these little areas here with a green. And did I tell you? I didn't tell you on this one, but this is Yupo paper that I'm using, which is this synthetic paper. And I do have another YouTube video which pretty much covers all of the normal supplies I use in alcohol inks, and I also have a video if you're interested in the sealing process for alcohol inks, so I will add that here for you as well at the top. You can click on that white bar over here on the right hand side and it will take you to that other video if you want to check it out. So again, I'm adding a little bit of alcohol to this. I just put a few dots in here. Now you have to move fairly quickly with that or those dots will be fairly dark. So I want to blend those before they get too permanent on there. And I want a bunch of different shades of that green anyway, so you can see I'm not very specific. Now this is the fun part. Look at this. This is the Bombay ink in the yellow, and that alcohol ink has already dried, barely. And I added this right on top of it, and you can see how it actually can brighten it up. Now, when you're using alcohol inks, usually if you put the yellow on top of it, you'll get those dots, or those, you know, where it spreads the ink out. So you don't get this beautiful layering effect that you do with the Bombay inks. So I found this thrilling. I was so excited about this. So really easy way to go back to lighten something without moving your inks. So this was phenomenal for me. So this is dried now. I've let it sit for a little bit, and we're going to add another layer of green on here. And I believe this is Rainforest Green as well, since I added that yellow to that. It's lightened that other one up, plus I had to use a little bit of alcohol in there. So I'm just going to put my little trees in here. And you can see how the alcohol ink can go right over on top of this. It still works fine. Adding in little trees here. I do these trees a lot. You see them in a lot of my videos. It's just really a tapping motion. These are off in a distance. And this is called the Height of Lands out in Rangeley, Maine. So I am up at the top here, looking down over the water. I'm not sure how tall the Height of Lands are, but it's quite a ways up there. It's in the Western Mountains in Maine here, and it's breathtaking. If you haven't been through there, if you go this time of year, May through June, end of May through June, the lupines are gorgeous. You'll find fields of them everywhere. It's the most beautiful sight, and unfortunately they go by so quickly. Not as quickly as my lilacs did, though. But there's still a very very fast flower. They don't last too long. They are wild. They get to be like 5 feet tall, and I think the flower part that itself, which they come in many different shades of colors, purples, pinks, whites, but they get to be about 18 inches, the flower itself. So they're a really tall plant. So fields of them are just gorgeous. So you can see here, I'm just going to work along here and adding in a little bit of layers. Now, someone had mentioned, I can't remember who it was, they were talking about, I posted it on Facebook, that, you know, when these paintings first start out, a lot of them look like they're not finished. And they look a little funny when you first start. So this is all about layers for this type of painting. You've got to really build your background, and that's why you can see how messy. I'm a big hot mess right now on this. It's not real defined, and I just keep layering some more details over it and getting a little bit darker and a little bit darker. So you can see these trees are a darker shade or a deeper shade. I even added a little bit of black to that, so I can get a darker, more of a pine tree green. And the light is hitting more to the left-hand side here, so I'm actually going to go back and do some more with the yellow. But I'm still trying to get in here and lighten this blue sky. It just is too dark for what I want. If you see the photograph here, it's a lot lighter in the picture. But you know, again, it doesn't have to be exactly, I say this every time, it doesn't have to look exactly like the picture. This is an interpretation, especially with inks, because it's such a abstract and creative process. You know, I guess that's with any kind of painting really, or any kind of medium. But this one is more organic than most, I say. So that's a little bit better. So now that blue has dried, I'm putting the white in there again. It's a little bit lighter this time. I was trying to mix it too much before. So now I'm just taking my finger and I'm taking off that masking fluid. And again, you could check out the other video if you aren't sure about what that is. We talked about it briefly in the sketch part last week. So we're just going to wipe that off and make sure you've got all those little pieces on there gone. And you can usually feel it with your hand. So now we're going back in where that was white. I'm trying not to cover up all of it, but I don't do a great job. You get going, and I want to lighten it a little bit. Now this is really dark, this purple, and I'm using the Twilight Purple. I just have to check. No, Passion Purple, not Twilight Purple. Twilight Purple is by Ranger. Passion Purple is Jacquard. So this is Jacquard here. And it's very dark, as you can see. So I'm just doing this little dotting motion here, a little tapping. And again, in my other online classes, I go into a little bit more detail on how I paint the lupins, but this is sped up, a little faster. I'm adding a little bit of alcohol here to this to lighten it, and I've decided that I wanted to put a little bit of pink in there, because again, these are a little too dark. And now I'm opting to put a little bit deeper shade around the edges here. It gives it some depth. This is, again, with the Bombay inks. They're blue. And you can see how that gives it that illusion of some depth right in there. We'll add a little bit into the water as well. So you can see the water's got a couple different colors in there in the reference photo. Again, not the same color combo that the picture has, but that's the great thing about it. Whatever you have, it can work for you. So I ended up, I don't actually show this part, but I was really trying again to add a little bit more of that white in here. It still just wasn't quite light enough for what I wanted. So I did use a white gouache with this, and it worked. You can actually use the white gouache, and you can see it in the final painting here that I have in the sky. You'll see where it's very bright white, and that is where I've added a little bit of the gouache to the painting. So as always, thanks again for watching, and we'll hope to see you guys next week. And make sure to click that like and share button. If you have folks that you think might be interested in something like this, please let them know. Help me grow my channel. Bye-bye.